President of the Senate, Senator Ahmed Lawan, says the National Assembly will pass the proposed 2022 budget before the end of the legislative week. He disclosed this in Abuja while giving a lecture at the maiden Distinguished Parliamentarians Lecture Series organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, the NILDS. Lawan said the current National Assembly has made it a practice for the budget to be presented and passed before the end of December yearly to ensure that its implementation commences in January. Delivering a lecture titled The Legislator, Legislative Mandate and the Public, the Reality and the Public Perception, he used the opportunity to clear the air around what he described as misconceptions about the allowances of members of the National Assembly.
The budget of the National Assembly appears grossly inadequate, given its mandate, membership, the scope of operations and agencies under it. For instance, the Assembly will require additional billions of naira if its core committees are to effectively undertake oversight functions, including visits, as mandated in the Constitution and the standing orders. Interestingly, the budget of the National Assembly not only constitutes a fraction of the federal government budget, but it is also significantly lower than allocations to other sectors that get even less attention.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, said the onus of having a new electoral framework ahead of the 2023 general elections resides with the National Assembly and the Presidency. INEC's National Commissioner in charge of voter education and information, Festus Okoye, said this at the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room National Stakeholders Forum on Elections in Abuja. According to Okoye, as far as the electoral management body is concerned, INEC is still operating with the existing electoral legal framework because the new one is still incumbent. He said that there were some fundamental issues around the new electoral framework. One of the big issues as far as the electoral management body is concerned related to the deepening of democracy through the use of technology. He said that INEC from the beginning made a determination that it is important in the national interest to reduce human interference in the electoral process, and based on that, decided to deepen the use of technology in the electoral process. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has slammed a fresh suit against the federal government at a federal high court in Abuja over alleged infringement on his fundamental human rights. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, and the Department of State Services were listed as first and second defendants. No date has, however, been fixed for hearing. Kanu, in the suit filed by a member of his legal team, Maxwell Okpara, is seeking an order of the court to compel the DSS to allow him access to food, medical care and clothing of his choice. The IPOB leader in the suit dated December 13th, 2021, also applied for an order of the court against DSS to allow him arrange food for himself at his own expense. Now, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has commended security agencies for arresting about 30 suspected kidnappers who he described as cannibals. The arrests were made by a combined team of security operatives after 2 traditional rulers were kidnapped in Imo State on Sunday. According to Governor Uzodinma, the arrests were a sign the new strategy for combating insecurity in the state was working.
To commend the security agencies in Imo State, the DSS, the Army, the Navy, the police, the Civil Defense, all of them, for putting their heads together and making sure that at least Imo people will come home to celebrate Christmas. It has been a very thing of worry, wondering how entire local government like Osun local government will be abandoned in the hands of criminals and cannibals. From what we have seen, you will not agree with me that these are ordinary criminals and bandits who has no future, who has no plan, who are killing human beings and roasting human beings, eating human beings, cannibals. How else are we supposed to treat this kind of idiots if not to ensure that the law takes its course?
The Oba of Benin, Oba Iwuare II, has received the legal documents of the deed of transfer of the return of the bronze cockerel and the Oba bronze head recently handed over to Nigeria and the United Kingdom. The legal documents were perfected at the Palace of the Oba of Benin when signatories to the documents appended their signatures in the presence of the royal family, traditional rulers from different parts of Nigeria, as well as friends and well-wishers of the Benin monarch.
It marks a watershed in our efforts to retrieve the bronzes, ivories, and other works of art which were removed from this palace in 1897. Other works of art with religious, spiritual, and aesthetic significance to Benin were removed from this palace in 1897. Today, though, is not a day to open old wounds.
The Nigerian High Commissioner to the UK, Tunji Shola, who also appended his signature, said he's already in physical possession of the bronzes, but according to English law, a deed of transfer was imperative.
Return of historical artworks to Benin Kingdom signifies a breakthrough in the desire of Nigerians and indeed Africans to repossess the African artworks currently domiciled outside their places of origin.
The signed documents were officially handed over to the Oba, while this comes as Oba Iwuare II marks the 5th anniversary of his coronation. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has begun compulsory enforcement of COVID-19 vaccination for its employees in all the agency's offices across the country. In Abuja, staff of the commission at its Jabi headquarters were screened by the management, led by Secretary to the Anti-Graft Agency, Dr. George Epungu, as unvaccinated workers were instructed to pen down their names in a special register. Those duly vaccinated equally signed in and got entrance. EFCC spokesperson Wilson Owujaran said the exercise, which commenced as early as 6:30 a.m., caught a number of staff unawares, while some having to return home to fetch their vaccine cards. Epungu said the enforcement was in defense of the order of the executive chairman, Abdurrashid Bawa, that all staff must be vaccinated. Similarly, the National Youth Service Corps has barred unvaccinated intakes from its camps nationwide. He made the disclosure yesterday in his nationwide virtual address to the 2021 Batch C Stream 2 Corps members and camp officials. The Director General, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, said from next year, all prospective Corps members would show evidence of vaccination before gaining access to camps for subsequent registration. It's still the 1 p.m. news on Splash 105.5 FM. Still ahead, Indonesia earthquake, 7.4 magnitude quake shakes South Sulawesi. The 60 players begin camping for Hockey Africa Cup of Nations. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll bring you more stories, so please stay with us.
Àríkẹ́ ojú rẹ̀ ṣe akọrẹ lọ báyìí.
Bọ̀dá wà sún ewé fímílẹ̀ òjé alọ́jà òya.
Ọjà àyà bíi ti bó o túmọ̀ sí pé ọmọ lo mama ATM sọ̀bù ẹnu.
Bọ̀dá wà sí ìwé dákun. Ewu tún ni mama ATM POS.
Mama ATM ní gbogbo ntajà tó ní sọ̀bù ń lò báyìí. Ìwọ wo sadé tó ní sọ̀bù nísàlẹ̀ ọjà lọ́hùn. Gbogbo gbala ń bára máa ń wo sọ̀bù rẹ̀ tọ́jà rẹ̀ sì ń yan kíákíá. Torí wípé ń lo mama ATM POS. Èyàn nìkan kọ́ àwọn ń bára tó bá tó ara nǹkan lẹ́yìn dòdò ń sọ̀bù rẹ̀ àtúmọ̀ ara research card. Eléyìí tó tẹ̀ jáde lórí mama ATM POS. Àwọn ń bára máa ń gbowó lórí mama ATM POS machine. Wọ́n á tún fi owó sórí ìdìkódà DSTV, GoTV àti StarTime lọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀. Sọ ti wá mọ ìdí tí sọ́ọ̀bù sadé fi gba ìbúbọ̀ ládùúgbò báyìí tó sì jẹ́ pé kò ṣe mọ́wọ́ ní fún gbogbo ń bára rẹ̀. Ọ̀jẹ̀ yára tètè lọ gba mama ATM POS. Káwọn ń bára rẹ̀ mọ ìyá ń kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí.
Ó ní ṣe wá gba mama ATM POS machine.
Kàn sí mama ATM ní nàbà 6A Ọ̀lànìyàn Fagbemi Street off Mobile Bus Stop lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ for Live Center Ìyàgànkú GRA Ìbàdàn. Nílùú Èkó Suite 18 Aláùsá Shopping Mall Ìkẹjà 0809 950 0554. Mama ATM gba owó pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn.
Living healthy or getting fitness equipment can be such a hassle if you look for the right things in the wrong places. But if you look for the right things in the right places, you will discover DNX Fitness Home, the true home for very affordable and durable fitness machines and sports equipment. From treadmills, exercise bicycles, weightlifting benches, 4-station, multi-station gym, and even much more. DNX Body Fitness Home is located beside Danex Pharmacy at Damasigba, Ibadan. For inquiries, call 0912-129-8852 or 0915-388-0080. DNX Body Fitness Home. Keeping fit all day long. All day long.
The number you have dialed is currently switched off. Please try again later.
Ṣé kìí ṣe pé mo ti tẹsẹ̀ bọ́ pàkúté báyìí? Ẹni tí mo kó wá àgbàdo fún láti bí ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì ni mi rí yìí. Àrà àgbàdo, àtúrówó, nọ́mbà dráìvà náà kò tún wá lọ. Kí ni mo fẹ́ ṣe báyìí?
Ìyá Àṣẹ̀kí, ṣebí mo wí fún ọ pé tó o bá fẹ́ ra àgbàdo níbi tó fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀, ọ̀dọ̀ Apex ni ọ lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n o takú olóòjẹ́rìí òǹbàrà rẹ̀. Sọ́tán, ọ̀dọ̀ Apex lèmi ti ń ra gbogbo àgbàdo àti sóyà mi o. Ò rí báwọn nǹkan ọ̀sìn mi ṣe ń dẹ́ yọ̀yọ̀yọ̀ tí wọ́n tóbi fàkíàfàkíà ọbẹ̀.
Ká ní mo dẹ̀ ti wá mọ̀ ni. Ṣé bí mi ò bá ti tẹ̀lé yín lọ́jọ́ yẹn?
Kì í tí ì pẹ́jù. Sáré download Comex app báyìí lórí Google Play Store tàbí Apple Store. Kó o bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní rojúlówó àgbàdo àti sóyà fáwọn nǹkan ọ̀sìn rẹ. Kódà gan bọ̀ bá ló lọ, Apex lè yá ọ lówó láti ṣe nǹkan ọ̀sìn pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn. Ó yá download Comex app báyìí kó o pe nọ́mbà ìfẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé 0903-000-1333.
Lónìí ni kò ní dọ̀là, mo gbọ́dọ̀ download Comex app báyìí.
Tó o bá ti dọ́dọ̀ Apex, ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ fún gbogbo oníǹkan ọ̀sìn.
You're welcome back. It's still the news on Splash 105.5 FM, the integrity station. Now turning to the foreign scene. A 7.4 magnitude earthquake has struck off the coast of Indonesia's South Sulawesi province, prompting people to evacuate homes and buildings. The earthquake, which happened today in the Flores Sea, affected the East Nusa Tenggara region. No injuries or major damage have been reported yet, but locals said they felt large tremors. Earthquakes are common in Indonesia as the archipelago lies on the Ring of Fire, a curve of volcanoes and fault lines in the Pacific Ocean. Now, China has reported its first case of the fast-spreading Omicron coronavirus variant. Authorities in the northern city of Tianjin confirmed the case in an individual who entered the country from an undisclosed overseas location. Officials say the asymptomatic patient tested positive for COVID-19 on Thursday before further tests confirmed the detection of the Omicron variant, adding that the person was being treated in isolation at hospital. The world's most populous nation is on high alert for potential outbreaks as it prepares to host the Beijing Winter Olympics in February. And finally, in sports, a total of 60 players are currently in camp and expected to undergo screening ahead of the Hockey Africa Cup of Nations scheduled for Accra, Ghana in January 2022. The Secretary General of the Nigeria Hockey Federation, NHF, Rita Musindi, said that the players arrived camp in Abuja. Musindi explained that the screening camp was meant to select the best 36 players who would undergo intense training and preparations for the tournament in Ghana. The 2022 Men's Hockey African Cup of Nations will be the 11th edition of the Men's Hockey Africa Cup of Nations, the quadrennial international men's field hockey championship of Africa organized by the African Hockey Federation. In February 2021, it was announced that the tournament would be held alongside the women's tournament, which will be its 8th edition at the Theodosia Oko Hockey Stadium in Accra, Ghana, from January 17th to 23rd, 2022. Now, Thierry Henry has slammed Paris Saint-Germain over the Kylian Mbappe contract saga. Henry said the contract deal should have been settled 2 years ago. The 22-year-old will be a free agent next summer, with Real Madrid strongly linked with his signature, and Henry thinks PSG should have moved earlier to convince Mbappe to stay at Parc des Princes. All right, just before we go, a recap of the headlines. National Assembly to pass proposed 2022 budget this week. And EFCC NYSC has banned unvaccinated employees, core members. Indonesia earthquake 7.4 magnitude has shaken South Sulawesi. In sports, 60 players have begun camping for Hockey Africa Cup of Nations. For more details on the news, visit our website on www.splashfm1055.com. Now you can download the Splash FM mobile app on iOS and Google Play Store to listen live, get news updates, opinion poll, and also report an event live to us through the iPod feature. To download, simply go to any of the stores mentioned and search for Splash FM 105.5, then click to download. We have now come to the end of the news on Splash 105.5 FM, the integrity station and the best radio station in the southwest of the country. The news editor is Tunde Olawu, assisted by Chinwe Churchill. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and